guys, how are you? Hope you're doing really good. So in today's video, I'm going to share with you guys the first chapter of chemistry, chemical reaction and equation. I'm going to share with you guys what I studied, so this will be useful for me because I'll be revising, and this will also be useful for you. So it's helpful for both of us, and this is what I studied. So are you ready? I'm ready. So let's get into the video and study with me. So first is what is a chemical reaction? A chemical reaction, it is a process in which one or more substances forms a new substance, which is one or more substance form a new substance. For example, let's take A and B. It will form C and D. One or more substance is forming a new substance, and it cannot be reversed by physical methods, not chemical methods, physical methods such as centrifugation, evaporation, condensation, melting, boiling. All these things are physical methods and it cannot be reversed by physical methods. Next is reactant. What is a reactant? It takes part in a chemical reaction. These both takes part in a chemical reaction. So this is a reactant and a product, the substance which are formed in a chemical reaction. So A and B are the reactants and C and D are the product, because AB forms CD. This is a new substance and this is formed in this chemical reaction. Next is chemical reaction involves change in state. So it can be solid, liquid, gas or aqueous. So if you take aqueous, the solvent is water. If the solvent is water, it is called aqueous. Next is color. It can change color and temperature. It may change the temperature and evolution of gas. Next is example. So these are the example which is happening in our daily life. Digestion, respiration, rusting of iron. So when the iron is kept in the moisture and oxygen is get involved in the reaction, a chemical reaction takes place. Next is a chemical equation. It is a symbolic representation of reactant and product with mention of physical state. And a chemical reaction can be of three types, which is a word, a skeleton, and balanced. So a word means, if you write magnesium plus oxygen gives magnesium oxide. That is a word which is full sentence and is not a symbolic. Full sentence is given, it is a word. If you take a skeleton equation is not balanced. It does not have the same amount of elements in the both sides. That is a skeleton. And a balanced equation. A balanced equation means if two sides, reactant and the product, has the same number of elements and the same number of atoms, it is a balanced equation. So now let's see how to balance a chemical equation. First, let me write all the physical state of these. Ferrous is solid. H2O is water, of course it's liquid. And Fe3O4 is also a solid, and H2 is a gas. Now, in the this is the elements, reactant and the product. First, the elements are ferrous, which is iron, then hydrogen and oxygen. In this equation, there is three elements involved, and in the reactant side, first we have one ferrous. This is the physical state. One ferrous and hydrogen, two hydrogen and one oxygen. And at this side, we have three ferrous, four oxygen and two hydrogen. First, we have to give our preference to metal. So ferrous is a metal, iron is a metal. So let's give the first preference to this. So here we have 3 at the product side and 1 at the reactant. So let's add 3. So ferrous is balanced. Next is oxygen. There is 4 in the product side and only 1 in the reactant side. So here let's add 4. So 4 into 1, 4. But if we add 4 over here, this also is 8 now, because 4 into 2 is 8. But over here it is only 2. So let's add 4 over here into 4. So 3 ferrous in the reactant side and 3 ferrous in the product side. Next, 8 in 8 in the reactant side and also in the product side. Hydrogen is equal, then oxygen 4, 4. So this is now balanced. Let me give you another example. Mg plus O2 gives MgO. So Mg is a solid, O2 is a gas, and MgO, magnesium oxide, is a solid. So over here we see that Mg only 1, over here it is also 1. Oxygen, 2 oxygen is there, so over here 2. Now we have to add 2 over here, and now this is a balanced equation. So why do we need to balance the equation? Because of the law of conservation of mass, which is a matter can neither be created nor be destroyed. And also the mass of the left hand side, which is the reactant, should be equal to the mass of the right hand side, which is the product. And also a reactant can be called as LHS, which is left hand side, and a product can also be called as RHS, which is the right hand side. So this is why we need to balance an equation. So now let's see what are the types of reaction. First is a combination reaction. You may understand by the name combination. One or more reactant joins and form a single product, not 2 products or more than that, only single product, a single product. For example, here we have carbon plus O2 gives CO2, which is carbon dioxide. So 2 substance joins and makes a single product. Also here hydrogen plus O2 gives H2O. This is also a single product. So that is called a combination reaction. Here we have decomposition reaction, which is a compound is split or separated into 2 or more substances. And in decomposition reaction there are 3 further types, which is thermal, electrolytic and photolysis. If you take thermal, decomposition reaction is done by carrying out heat. CaCO3 gives CaO plus CO2. Calcium carbonate gives quicklime plus carbon dioxide. So CaCO3 is a solid, CaO is a solid, and CO2 is a gas, which is done by carrying out heat. Next is electrolytic. 2H2O gives 2H2 plus O2. This is by carrying out electricity. So this is done by heat. This is done by electricity or current. And over here, photolysis. 2AgCl, which is 2 silver chloride gives 2 silver plus Cl2 chloride. Photolysis means which is carried out by sunlight. So this is usually used in black and white photography. So thermal is heating, electrolytic is current, and photolysis is sunlight. Next is displacement reaction. Displacement reaction is when a high reactive element displaces a less reactive element. So here we can see that ferrous is displacing copper. So this is displacement reaction. So over here ferrous is solid, CuSO4 is aqueous, and FeSO4 is also aqueous, and Cu is a solid. So ferrous is displacing, the high reactive ferrous is displacing the less reactive copper. And next is double displacement. Double displacement means a mutual exchange. So here only two is exchanging, but here mutual exchange. So NaSO4 plus BaCl gives Ba and SO4. These two are joining, and over here 2 NaCl. This and this is joining. This is a mutual exchange. So now we have the fifth type, which is oxidation and reduction. If you take oxidation, it is addition of oxygen or removal of hydrogen. So here we can see that Cu, copper, oxygen is getting added to copper. So addition of hydrogen. Next is reduction. Addition of hydrogen, removal of oxygen. CuO plus H2 gives CuH2O. So removal of oxygen. Here CuO is there, but over here CuO is getting separated. Removal of oxygen. Oxygen is getting removed and going and joining with hydrogen. This is oxidation and reduction. Next we have the effects of oxidation. Corrosion and rancidity. Corrosion. Metal is exposed to air, water, moisture and acid. When the metal is exposed to air, water, moisture or acid, an oxide layer is formed. For example, rusting of iron, the black color change in the silver, green color change in copper. All these are example of corrosion. Next is rancidity. Rancidity is oxidation of fat and oil when exposed to air. If this happens, you may experience bad smell from that food. Next is exothermic and endothermic. Exothermic means heat is released. Chemical reaction happens and heat is released, which is called exothermic. And endothermic requires energy, not heat, energy. Light, sunlight, light, sunlight, current or heat, which requires to form the product. So let's recap all the types of reaction. First is the combination. One or two reactant form a single product. It's called combination. Next is decomposition. Decomposition is a single reactant forms two or more product, which is called decomposition. Next is displacement. Displacement is that the high reactive element displaces the less reactive metal, which is called the displacement. Next is double displacement. Double displacement, it is the mutual sharing of elements. So this is the whole chapter. Hope you understood everything. Hope I said everything clearly, which is easy to understand. So this is what I learned and I am explaining to you what I learned. You can take notes of these. This will be useful for you. This is also useful for me because I am revising everything. So meet you in the next video. Bye.